Hey everybody, welcome back. It's me, Rosalie. Welcome to the Ultimate World Music Reaction channel. Welcome to the studio. I'm working on it, so let me know in the comments below what the audio and the video sounds and looks like. Trying to improve. We're growing, so I'm really trying to give it my best. I'm happy that you're here. Are you ready? Hey everybody, it's me, Rosalie, and this is the Ultimate World Music Reaction channel. I'm so honored that you're here. What do? We dive deep into the music, the psychology, different countries and cultures, exploring the art that is music, how it makes us feel, what we can take from it. And today I got a whole bunch of things for you. Let's begin. First of all, thank you so much to all of you from Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee who have been making suggestions, been so generous, and who have been so patient with this list. I am almost all caught up, and as I'm able to, I'm going to open up requests again soon. But I'm trying to work my way through the last few, and I don't want to say much because there's a lot of ground to cover. Today's shout out goes to my dear patron, Christian Maya. Thank you so much for the request. Enjoy the ride. We're going to check out another one by Nightwish. I have been reacting to various songs by a symphonic metal band called Nightwish, and I was very pleasantly surprised because while I love rock, I was not familiar with symphonic metal. Generally, didn't grow up listening to metal much. I've said that many times, but if you're new, that might be new information. They are from Finland. However, various band members also from different places. Their lead singer, Floor Jansen, for example, is Dutch, but I want to check out their song, While Your Lips Are Still Red. This song, for example, has been viewed over 2.3 million times, just to give you an idea for what they're like. This is live at the Wembley Arena. Nightwish, While Your Lips Are Still Red. Now, I didn't research what this song is about at all, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to it with you, and then we're going to find out and we'll talk about it. Their songs have been very interesting because symphonic metal is so much more in touch with classical music than those of you who don't know metal might be aware of. It's amazing how there's so many compositions, and the songwriting, particularly with Nightwish, is phenomenal. Very poetic a lot of times, very mystical, a lot of various inspirations where you have to dig deep to figure out what inspired the song. But Tuomas is an amazing songwriter, and the whole band is just phenomenal. Various team members have come and gone that many of you love and appreciate, and it's shaped their journey, their evolution, if you will. But I'm going to check out While Your Lips Are Still Red. There's a few more Nightwish songs coming before I bring you another big one. Recently reacted to The Poet and the Pendulum, and that was special. But I'm working my way towards another big one, which is The Greatest Show on Earth. And I'm trying to get a feel, learn the band more and more so I can bring you as much as possible for this one. But before then, we're going to check out While Your Lips Are Still Red by Nightwish, live at Wembley Arena. Make sure to like and subscribe. And here we go.
All right then, people at Wembley. I had to say that too. You know, we live in troubled times. Everybody's seen that in the news and all that and blah, 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 blah. Everything we hear is bad. So, what I'm telling you, if you have loved ones, you know, girlfriends, boyfriends, wives, husbands, children, grandparents, dogs, cats, whatever, canary birds, or pet Martian, kiss while your lips are still red.
All right, I'm going to go back. I want to point one thing out. First of all, it's cool to hear this little introduction prelogue, if you will, by Marco Hietala. Hietala left Nightwish, I think it was around January 21st, and he explained, supposedly, according to blabbermouth.net, I don't know how legit that resource is, so let me know in the comments below what you know, but he explained that in a statement that he hadn't been able to feel validated by this life for quite a few years now. So I suppose, you know, maybe he, for lack of a better word, outgrew or just realized it was time for him to transition into a new season. I could see that being very hard on the band. I think there was a quote by Holopainen to Metal Hammer that expressed that was devastating. I could see it being devastating to many fans. Real quick, and we'll keep going. Marco is just, he's the bass guitarist, but he's an amazing vocalist, really cool personality from what I can tell, even just from the few songs I've reacted to. And I think when you get to know a band, you're a fan of a music, you become connected to these people in a way. It's almost like maybe you've never even met them in life. Some of you have or been to their events, but we don't know them on a personal day-to-day level, and yet relationships are built because we look up to people we admire, because we follow their life. And so when they decide to leave a band, or a band splits up for whatever reason, I could see that being very devastating for various people. And here, it doesn't show details from what I can tell why he left, but I think from what I'm seeing here is that there was a feeling of disillusionment with the music industry. I don't know enough of the details, but it looks like it took him a long time to make that decision, and he stepped away. And though I can see it being devastating for many, including in the band, I think there's a lot of courage when you step away and you take a step back when you know something's not good for you anymore, or you have outgrown something. And what I mean by outgrow is not that he's better than everybody and now, he's just like, leaves because they're not growing with him. I don't mean that. I mean in the sense of we all are on a journey, and we all have to be growing and learning and becoming who we are. And I think it takes courage to step into that. But I don't want it to say too much. Just a side note, he's no longer with Nightwish, but he's a super talented vocalist and bass player. And it's cool to see this little prelogue, I think is the word for it, of him here encouraging people who have loved ones to kiss them while their lips are still red. I think that gives us an idea.
All right then, people at Wembley. I had to say that too. We live in troubled times. Everybody's seen that in the news and all that and blah, 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 blah. Everything we hear is bad. So, what I'm telling you, if you have loved ones, girlfriends, boyfriends, wives, husbands, children, grandparents, dogs, cats, whatever, canary birds, or pet Martian, kiss while your lips are still red. Sweet little words made for silence. Not talk, young heart for love, not heartache.
Wow.
Dark hair for catching the wind, not to wail the sight of a cold world. Kiss while your lips are still red, while he's still silent rest. While bosom is still untouched, I'm veiled, hold another hand, while the hand's still without a clue, drown into eyes while they're still blind. While the night till height, the withering dawn.
Oh my word. Oh my word. There's so much here in the lyrics we'll talk about after. So when we're done reviewing this, don't go. We have to talk about this. These lyrics are wow. Oh, wow. His voice, though, real quick, even on that word, while, the way that his vocal cords are expanding is beautiful, starting soft and airy and gentle, showing us already quite a little bit of a sneak peek of his range and vocal abilities, then taps into that, whoa, like, I can't do it quite the way he did it, but it was beautiful on that word, while he's still silent, beautifully just opening up vocally, a little bit of a vibrato at the end of the notes, already really showcasing homeboy can sing. Oh yes, I'm excited about this. And the lyrics, Hakuna Matata. We got some good stuff to talk about.
First day of love never comes back. A passionate hours never wasted one. The violin, the poets play.
Wow. I love how it ended on this instrumental interlude. I thought they might go back into the chorus again. It's kind of cool that they didn't. It's different, right? It's not always doing what people may expect. Beautiful. I think if I saw correctly, that's Troy Donnickley, who also in there, another song of theirs, plays the Ilian pipe. Added a beautiful touch here. It's phenomenal to me to see the various arrangements of their songs, where some are harder and darker, some of them are uplifting. One had much more of a dance vibe, and then you have this here, and this in a way to me, it's beautiful. It was slower. I feel like a heavy focus on the lyrics and not just a bunch of riffs and solos, though even the composition was neat. The solo in the end, the combination between the synthesizers, the drums creating some crescendo and some dynamics here to build the emotions, to build the song. Then you have the harmonies, beautiful harmonies, the way that both Floriansen and Marco were singing in harmony at one point. Then they went back to unison, both singing the melody. What I also thought was beautiful was at one point after singing harmony, Floriansen was vocalizing lyricless, no lyrics, but was just vocalizing in the background to add to what Marco Hietala was singing. And to me, it was interesting because with the backdrop of that, what I think was snow falling, more somber, it created this beautiful blanket, if you will. In addition to what Marco was saying, the idea of this song to me was more somber. It was reflective, almost like a reflective. I don't know if anthem is the right word because it's not the type of anthem you would chant, to collectively, but it's more somber. I think reflective might be a good way. And I think that works with the lyrics too, because the lyrics speak of sweet little words made for silence, not talk. Young heart for love, not heartache. Interesting. Words that are made for silence, not talk. Seems like a paradox because we use words to speak, but sometimes much more can be said in silence. Young heart for love, not heartache. Interesting as well, because when I think of young love, young hearts, a lot of times we do see heartache, right? People falling in love, crushing, getting their hearts broken. But it says for love, not heartache. Dark hair for catching the wind, not to veil the sight of a cold world. Interesting. The idea of dark hair meant to catch the wind, experiencing, embracing it, not to veil something, not to blind us from the cold world. Fitting because in the beginning he pointed out how when we listen to the news, it all sounds like we're doomed and blah, 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 like he said. I like that. And it's true. If you were to put on the news, unfortunately, that's what gets more views, and views means money. And there's often not as much focus on all the positive that happens, though it may be possible that there's way more light than darkness. It's just that darkness is so heavy sometimes. That's all we focus on. And the shock effect gets people's attention. And though we can find YouTube videos that talk about amazing acts of kindness, etc., things that make us feel good, generally the news will have the catastrophic, scary things. And if we focus on all that, it could seem doom and gloom. But I like how he shifted our focus to, hey, find someone you love and kiss them while their lips are still red, while we're alive, while we're still young, while we still have time. So the idea of saying the dark hairs for catching the wind is beautiful to me because it's this idea of we were meant to catch the wind. We were meant to feel the wind in our face, to experience life and nature and relationship and love, not to veil our sight and to blind us from the cold world. Kiss while your lips are still red, right? You put red lipstick on. Red, by the way, as a side note, y'all know I like to dive deep into psychology, and so I'm going to find all these little things that I consider nuggets. You may agree or not, and that's totally okay, but let me know in the comments below what this song means to you. Red attracts the most attention. We know red to be the color that often represents love and passion, fire, danger sometimes. Stop signs are red, but it's associated with strong emotions. Universal color that signifies strength, power, courage, danger. It's vibrant, it's stimulating. So it's interesting to talk about red lips here. Because for one, we know that they can demonstrate power, right? If you have a room full of women and that one woman wearing red lipstick, I should have worn my red lipstick today. I don't have any with me right now. I only got a natural nude color. Will not look alpha enough. But when you have a woman with red lipstick, psychologically, that will create this idea of superiority, alpha, right? Strong. It can be associated with lust, passion, the temptress, right? It's this strong, provocative, confident color. And so to say, while the lips are still red, I feel like is an interesting choice. Obviously, it makes for good songwriting. Poetically sounds better than Kiss While the Lips Are Still Rosé, Pink, Peach, right? Weird. But it's interesting because we're talking about this contrast of enjoying life while we still can, loving one another while we still can, while the lips are still red before time runs out and things fade. But we are also contrasting it with the dangers of the world, red being a color that can also imply danger. And so it's this vibrant, stimulating, exciting, strong link to an increased appetite, if you will, sexuality as well, but this increased appetite. And I would say that when we reflect on how beautiful and fleeting life is, ideally it will increase our appetite for life. So that as a side note for red lips, specifically the color red. But to kiss while your lips are still red to me implies before it fades. You put lipstick on, eventually it'll fade, it'll go away. While he is silent, rest while bosom is still untouched, unveiled. To me, this idea of being untouched, virginity, and there's something beautiful about something that has been untouched, something that is considered sacred. In our Western cultures, sometimes odd to certain groups. In other cultures and religions, it's considered honorable and admirable. There's something about something being untouched. And I'm not just speaking sexuality and virginity, I'm speaking anything, right? When you order a brand new product and you've paid a lot of money for it, you expect it to arrive to you untouched, unbroken, sealed, signed, sealed, delivered, all yours. You want it to not be used. And if you buy something for used, you want it to be ideally in new or good condition. And if it's not so, you want a very significant discount. So the more money we pay, the more valuable something is. And life is precious. We want it to be honored. We want it to be precious and treated as if it's something sacred and beautiful. Hold another hand while the hand's still without a tool. Also interesting. Holding, kissing, forms of affection, but while the hand is still without a tool makes me think of before you start working. And by the way, these are all my subjective interpretations. This might not be what the band meant, but I think, and you have said this too, Nightwish's songs are so poetic, and that's one of the beautiful things about Tuomas's songwriting, is that it really allows for creative, subjective interpretation. And what I want this channel to be is a community where we can talk and say, this is what it means to you or to me. But to me, a hand without a tool is also a reference to possibly youthfulness, a child that doesn't have to start working yet before the day begins, right? And we have to go to work. A level of simplicity before we have to do adulting, working, building, creating. It's this twilight zone, this somber cusp of being at the threshold of something, not having stepped quite through. Drown into eyes while they're still blind. Also very interesting. So poetic, the songwriting here, to drown into eyes. To me, makes me think of getting lost in someone's eyes. That too works with holding hands, with kissing lips. It's very intimate. But it also makes me think of getting lost. It makes me think of, again, this beautiful, poetic, fairy tale-like way of describing a love for people, a love for life. I find that really beautiful about Nightwish's lyrics. Eyes while they're still blind is also interesting because I think the idea perhaps is also like when, babies first born before they open their eyes, or certain animals, they're born blind and after a few days their sight develops. It's this idea to me of something that is still very young, very fresh before our eyes open to the bad things of the world, as he mentioned in the beginning, the darkness of the news. Love while the night still hides the withering dawn. Ooh, withering dawn. Sheesh. I wish I could write songs like this. Mine are often just more straightforward and basic. This is inspirational just to dive a little deeper into the psychology and just the poetry of it. Withering dawn. It implies to me that at dawn, things start to wither, that things start to fade, that entropy starts kicking in. And it's also interesting because dawn is the first light of day, right? So you would think, something brings a new beginning. But here it's almost portrayed as it causes withering. And the night hides that. First day of love never comes back. A passionate hour is never a wasted one. The violin, I disagree with that one. A passionate hour can very much be a wasted one if it leads to destruction. For example, affairs, certain immoralities, they may have been based on passion, lust, getting something you want for yourself. Passion in regards to crime, right? Something that was done in passion doesn't just have to be sexual, right? In the heat of the moment, the adrenaline rush, you hurt someone, you steal something, you do something that would be considered immoral. That's not always not wasted. Contrarily, sometimes it's wasted. It can be redeemed, it can be restored, ideally, if we do our part to fix it. But it's lost time when we do things out of passion and haste. So I think I wouldn't fully agree with that statement. But in the context, I think context matters, of this song, I see where they're coming from. I think talking about that first day of love, enjoying that moment, appreciating it. The violin, the poet's hand, every thawing heart plays your theme with care. Kiss while your lips are still red, while he's still silent. Rest while bosom is still untouched. And then that tags and the chorus repeats. And the way that it went into then that instrumental, again, I think that was Troy Donaclay, beautiful. The harmonies, as I mentioned, almost added this feeling of a blanket. I like it, and I think there's something very beautiful about such a composition. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. We're going to keep going. I have more videos to react to, so I'm going to keep at it and share more and more with you. Every other day, I'm trying to release videos right now, trying to catch up with that list, so thank you for your patience. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next ride. Ayo!